have CH3 and we have CH3, CH2, CH3, CH3, and CH3. So another student may choose to take his counting this way: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That is, he chooses to go this way. He chooses to go this way. Using a pencil, you can mark this way. Now, looking at the structures displayed, dear students, we observe that they all are given 6 carbon chains as the longest chain. We cannot count more than 6 carbon chains as the longest chain. So the question is, how do we go about choosing which of these styles of counting will be our accepted way of taking our parent chain? Do we take student A or student B or student C? So if you look at the chain for student A, we have 1 side chain, 2 side chains, 3 side chains, 4 side chains. For student B, we also have 1 side chain, 2 side chains, 3 side chain, and the 4th side chain. For student C, we have the 1st side chain, 2nd side chain, 3rd side chain, and the 4th side chain. So what it simply implies is that for student A who chooses to take his counting straight, he's having 4 side chains. Student B who chooses to take his counting in a curvy way, and we are having something like a table shape, we also have 4 side chains. And for student C who chooses to go the L shape, is also having 4 side chains. So the rule says that if 2 or more chains have equal lengths and equal side chains, the straight chain should be considered the parent chain. So that is the rule. So you can see this is an example of, if we choose to go this way, we are going to have 6 carbon lengths as the longest length, as the longest continuous chain. If we choose to go by student B, we're also going to be counting 6. If we choose to go by student C, we're also going to be counting 6. So the rule says that in such scenario, that the straight chain should be considered the parent chain. That is to say, it is not like student B is wrong, student B is correct, but we are going to drop this method. We are also going to drop this method. The rule says we should take the straight chain as the parent chain. That does not mean that student B and C are wrong. They are also correct. They will get the same naming as student A, but the rule simply says preferably take the straight chain as the parent chain. So what will be the name of this compound? The name of the compound is now going to be as we will see. Now we started our, having seen that, let us now erase the ones we are not going to make use of. We are now going to erase student C and student B. Let's erase this so that we'll be cleared and face the next. Okay, we have 3 here. Now the next step is to number the parent chain. Numbering is done in such a way that we will have to consider the side chains. And considering the side chains, we will consider the biggest side chain. As we can see, this is methyl. This is methyl. Methyl is here. This is ethyl. Ethyl is bigger. This is another methyl. And this is a last methyl group. This is a last methyl. So we have 3 methyls and 1 ethyl. Now the question is, where do we start numbering the parent chain from? Are we going to start from the left hand side, or do we start from the right hand side? That is the question. Now, there is a rule we are going to still say as we go deep. The rule says when we have a scenario like this, preference should be given to the larger side chain. Preference ought to be given to the larger side chain. That is to say, we are going to start from the position where we will give the lowest possible number to the larger side chain. And considering what we have on the board, ethyl is the larger side chain among the side chains here, or it seems to be the largest of all the side chains here. So since it is the largest, we are going to come from the side. We're going to start our numbering from the side that we give the lowest possible number to ethyl. So it implies that if we start numbering from the left hand side, ethyl will fall under carbon 3. But if we start numbering from the right hand side, it means this will be 1, this will be 1, this will be carbon 2, this will be carbon 3, and here will be carbon 4. So it means ethyl will fall under carbon 4 if we are to start numbering from the right hand side, and that is wrong. So it means we are going to start numbering our parent chain from the left hand side, which has already been done for us. So we now proceed to giving the name of the compound above. So what will be the name of that compound? The name of that compound will now be, as we can see, ethyl, the largest side chain, falls under carbon 3, the third carbon, and the other 3 methyl groups falls under different carbon atoms. So we are going to consider that position also for the 3 different methyl groups. So let us take the name of this hydrocarbon. So ethyl falls under carbon 3. So it is going to be 3-ethyl. Let's pen down this very well. So the compound is going to be 3-ethyl, 3-ethyl, 2,4,5-trimethyl. Trimethyl hexane. Now, the students are going to be asking me how did we come about this name? We don't really understand, and I'm not clear how the name 3-ethyl-2,4,5-trimethyl-hexane comes about. Now let us try to understand how we get to know the compound is 3-ethyl-2,4,5-trimethyl-hexane. Now looking at the parent chain is 6 carbon atoms. Since the parent chain is 6 carbon atoms, it will have to end the name of the hydrocarbon. So, and 6 carbon atoms is hexane. Since you have done that, the next is to now do as we have said before. How many side chains can we see attached to this parent chain? There are 4 side chains. Since there are 4 side chains, can we identify those side chains? Yes. Who are the side chains? There are 3 methyl side chains. There are 3 methyl side chains and 1 ethyl side chains. Now the question is, each of the 3 methyl side chains, where are they attached to? We have to consider the position where they are attached to. One of them is attached to carbon 2, so that is going to be 2-methyl. So 1 methyl is attached to carbon 2, another methyl is attached to carbon 4, another methyl attached to carbon 4, and another methyl, the last methyl, is attached to carbon 5. So these are all the methyl. These are the positions of the methyl side chains. Then above them, we have another side chain, which is ethyl. And where is ethyl attached? Ethyl is attached to the second carbon atom, the third carbon atom, I beg your pardon. Ethyl is attached to the third carbon atom. So since ethyl is attached to the third carbon atom, it means that we will have to carefully now pen down the names and the position of these side chains. So beginning from ethyl, why do we have to begin from ethyl? Ethyl begins with the letter E. So we have to begin with ethyl because alphabetically E comes before methyl, that is M. E comes before M, or even before T, trimethyl. So alphabetically we ought to begin with the ethyl. So that makes our compound to be 3-ethyl. That is to say, ethyl is at position 3, attached to carbon 3 of that chain. 3-ethyl hyphen, one of the methyl is attached to carbon 2. So we are going to identify that. The other methyl is attached to carbon 4. We have taken note of that. 2,4. And the last methyl is attached to carbon 5. So now we are taking note of that. And then hyphen trimethyl. There are 3 methyls. That is why we have to say trimethyl. So automatically the name of that compound becomes, this is why the name of the compound is 3-ethyl 2,4,5-trimethyl hexane. So this is how we go about naming any given hydrocarbon. I would like us to note at this juncture that whenever we have numbers and alphabets or letters written like this, the numbers are usually separated from alphabets or letters. Numbers are usually separated from letters with hyphen, while numbers are separated from numbers with a comma. Numbers should be separated from numbers with a comma, while numbers and letters or words are separated with hyphen, with the punctuation mark hyphen. So take note of that, and that is why we have 3-ethyl 2, 4, 5. So you can see that the numbers are separated with a comma, while numbers are separated from letters with a hyphen punctuation mark. So this is rule 3. We have now seen rule 3. So let us proceed to looking at our next rule, which is rule 4.